And my name's Jason Bailey, and I have the awesome honor of having to talk to Wolfgang Van Halen because we've got album number 2, an amazing first single off of this album. First and foremost, my brother Wolfgang, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
You just look happy. You look excited. I mean, you're getting ready to release this new album. You just look excited.
It's exciting. It's exciting.
It is, I'm sure. And you didn't really take much time between the first and the second album. It was almost like you were prepared with every track for this new album, which will be called Mammoth 2. The release date is August 4th, by the way.
Yeah, no, this was the polar opposite of the recording process from the first album. That happened over the course of 3 years. This happened in 2 months.
So did you have a lot of the tracks or just something in your head, or was it just the regiment? You're like, well, I know how to do this now.
No, I'd been collecting ideas over the last couple of years, like maybe since 2020, just random ideas here and there. And then in September, I had a whole month and a half to record the music. And then I had to go to Europe. And then for 2 months with Alter Bridge. And then I got back, had a little bit of a Christmas. I got sick, which was like, of course, the only time I have off. Of course, I got a cold. And then come January, I just got not sick enough to sing. And we recorded all the vocals and guitar solos in January. And so yeah, basically two separate months, that September and January, and we had the album. And now did the first leg of the tour I'm on now, and now I'm on the second leg. So it was all in between everything, and very exciting and moved really fast. But I'm really happy with how it turned out.
How'd that call go for Mark Tremonti? And he says, "What Brian was sick, right?" So he's like, "Flip and I need a bassist. Can you meet us and fill in the blank?" Is that how that went?
Oh man, yeah, the whole Tremonti story, that's a crazy one, man. I happened to have been hanging out with my buddies in Seven Dust when they were recording in Jersey. And I just happened to have all my stuff, and they called me and I showed up. I had heard the album before, but I didn't know how to play it. Learned it all, and then was playing a show in Rhode Island the next day. So that was a whirlwind. That's a fun story.
And then for the Seven Dust, Lejean gives you a call and says, "Hey, I heard you're in wherever. Can you stop by and play?" You are like the most liked dude in the music business. I mean, you're everywhere. You played, with Tremonti and Alter Bridge and those guys, and Clint Lowry had you play on his album too. And everybody's, you played with the you played with the Foo Fighters for the Taylor Hawkins tribute tribute concert in LA, which was I believe also in London. How did you find the time to do this album with all the stuff that you'd been doing the last couple of years?
I don't know. I don't seem to have much free time anymore. So I think the fact that we managed to get this album done is pretty impressive. Personally, I think it's better than the first album. I'm so sorry.
Somebody's in the back. Is that the dog trying to get in? It's okay, dude. Take your time. That's the good stuff. Maybe some DoorDash. Wolfgang ordered some What would Wolfgang order if he's like, my Italian subs here a little bit early? Did you order DoorDash and that's who's trying to get in? Is that what happened? I need your audio back. Hold on. There you go.
That's my mom. She's here.
Your mom's there.
It was my birthday yesterday, so she's in town right now. But yeah.
I was going to get to that next. I was going to say happy birthday, belated.
Thank you so much.
The big 3-2, right, Wolfgang?
Yeah, 32. I'm getting old, man.
How does it feel to be now entering into the 30s?
Now it's boring. I think now when you're like, I feel like 30 is like the last like birthday where you celebrate every year. Because now I feel like the most important birthday is like 40. And that feels very weird to say. So,
well, you're no longer the son of Eddie Van Halen. You're now Wolfgang Van Halen, the son of Eddie Van Halen. That's 32 years old. I'm a man.
Yeah. No matter what, people will still call me kid, though. That's just what'll happen.
And it's an honor, right? It's an absolute honor. So the follow-up album, again, Mammoth 2, release date 8/4, August 4th. You once again, Wolfgang, play all the instruments. Is that are you adamant about that? Do you have a producer saying, "Hey man, you might want to try this," and like, "No, this is my thing. This is what I'll do from here on out."
It's what Mammoth is. People try to turn it into like a negative, like a control thing, but this is my outlet. Mammoth is my artistic outlet, and it's a fun challenge. I really enjoy. Plus, it's only really the opportunity I have to play everything anymore. I don't get to play drums anymore, and I love playing drums. So yeah, no, it's a really fun process. And Elvis, my producer too, is like, he has no problem with it.
Oh, so he doesn't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it. Your fan base doesn't have a problem with it. I don't know who these people are that have a problem with it. But maybe we should you and I pull them aside and say, dude, no one's got a problem with it. Because this album, I was listening to the first single, which will be released to radio, Another Celebration at the End of the World. And so I put down in words what I thought it sounded like. Like if I were to sum it up to someone that had not heard it, which is important for anybody that's creative, right? You want another person's perspective. And here's what I came up with. Crunchy old school meets new school with that thank God guitar solo.
Hell yeah. Thank you.
Like that? Is that
good?
I
love it. I love it.
Is that a good description of Another Celebration at the End of the World?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, that whole song just came about from wanting sort of a punky, fast, fun, exciting, up-tempo song. So I think you nailed it.
Yeah, but you also, and I don't know if this stems from, obviously listening to your dad in the studio all those years, but you have, which I think is important, especially in the rock world, to have that old school vibe in what you do. There was a time in the rock world where guitar solos just were obsolete. For whatever reason. And now artists like yourself are bringing those back. You do realize that you have that. Is that because of listening to your dad for all those years?
I don't know. I mean, when you look at the first album, basically when it comes to guitar solos, I only do them if the song calls for it. I don't try to shove it in there, try and just let the chorus run for two more and just do a solo at the end of the song or something. I just kind of, if it fits, it fits. I never try to shove a solo in. Like it's always whatever the song calls for. But it happened to be that I think this album called for more solos than the last one. Maybe that just came from my desire to want to challenge myself a bit. I'm a bit more confident coming into this album vocally and on guitar, and also just kind of knowing what Mammoth was. I didn't know what that was before the first album, but with this, I knew what points I wanted to kind of challenge and stuff like that. So yeah. So I guess.
Well, what is it? Like if you were to talk to somebody that had no idea who Wolfgang Van Halen is, or Mammoth WVH, or your first album, and you said, give me a try, give me a listen, how would you explain to them what Mammoth is?
It's this dude who makes great rock music that makes you feel things.
There you go. I'd buy the album. I'm in. What did your mom get you for your birthday?
Just being here. We went to, I feel like my fiance is here too, which is lovely. And I feel like with how being on the road and just constantly touring, you never really get to have those moments of kind of being home. So they brought it to me. So basically them being in my presence is my presence, and I couldn't be happier. That's
the sweetest thing ever. You should probably make sure you tell them that face to face, and not just during a symbolism runs wild in the Van Halen family. And your birthday, 3/16, obviously a track off of For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge that was after your birthday. And you now have your signature guitar, EVHSA 126, which is short for your father's birthday, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How important is that symbolism in your artistry to honor him?
It's very important. He's the reason why I do what I do. I wouldn't exist if it wasn't for him. So That's certainly very important. I think just doing what I do is enough of a reference and tribute. Just me existing and continuing to be my own person in my own musical space. I don't think people realize that me just doing that is enough of a tribute and respect towards the life that he gave me and the interests he instilled in me. I don't have to, play Panama in order to respect him. You know what I mean? But yeah, especially with the guitars, his whole line of guitars he made was named after me. So it only felt right to sneak as many references to him, like instead of an F hole, it's an E hole for Ed and things like that. So
would you ever cover a Van Halen song on any of your albums?
Nah. No.
Would you ever cover just any song?
If I ever were to cover a thing, maybe it'd be like a YouTube video thing, or I got a YouTube channel. Maybe it'd be fun at some point when I have more free time to like cover songs for fun and put them up there or something. But on an official album, probably not. I think I have too much of a desire to prove myself and kind of just figure out my own creative process without trying to take from somebody else.
Would it upset you if that song, because this happens to a lot of artists, that becomes their big hit when they cover, already existing songs?
That does happen. Maybe that's a subconscious thing. I'd rather, because I know Dad, he would always, he never wanted to play any of those covers unless, you fully kind of transform it into your own thing, which I think they did with like You Really Got Me and stuff like that. But overall, it's like, I'd rather just kind of have covers be a fun thing instead of a record thing.
Yeah, I would, did what you did. I'd be like, man.
Live, we on the last tour or a couple tours ago, we played Them Bones by Alice in Chains, and that was just a really fun time. Would I record that? Nah, but it's just fun.
Well, it only took 2 minutes and I believe 28 seconds of the show, right? Because that's
a very quick song. Absolutely.
Song that they have. Going back to all these artists that you've played with, that you've toured with, you've been out on the road, opened for Guns N' Roses. I mean, during the Taylor Hawkins tribute show, there was every artist imaginable there on stage. Do you get nervous at all, especially when you're opening for a Guns N' Roses or some of these bigger bands?
I get nervous all the time. I'm nervous when I have no reason to be nervous. I have really bad anxiety. But I mean, when it comes to playing shows, I found that now that I've been doing it so much, it starts to ease up. But usually like the first few shows of a tour is when it's the worst. And then you sort of get into a groove. But when we open for Metallica, I'm going to be freaking out for sure. But that's a problem for a future Wolfie. This one has to worry about the stuff going on right now. So
is it because you're afraid that you're going to fail, or you're afraid you're going to be judged by your peers? What is it?
I have no idea. That's a really deep question. Probably a bit of everything, really. I just don't want to mess up. I don't want to do something that I want to be proud of what I'm doing. And if I mess up, I wouldn't be proud of it.
Would you then say that you don't at 100% have the confidence in the artist that you are? From a fan standpoint, you're awesome. You don't screw up. You're amazing. You're extremely talented. Your lyrics are deep and cool and relatable. That's from the fan standpoint. But from the Wolfgang Van Halen standpoint, you're like, I'm nervous all the time. I'm not sure what I'm doing is right. Would that be
maybe that's a deeper issue, a deeper psychological thing? But I don't think I'm ever. I don't know if I'll ever be 100% confident in anything, but I think the best thing to do is just to do your best and hold on to that feeling when you have it.
Well, or you're a perfectionist, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's
certainly I could definitely see that for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's a positive, well, it depends on probably who you're asked. If you were to ask that question to your fiance, she probably would disagree with us and say,
yeah, she'd probably
positive.
I was certainly, I think there were a couple of moments when recording the album, I think I was a bit self-destructive in my pursuit of perfection. But and I think that's a lot of, I think that's just a musician thing too. I think when, you have a show that you felt wasn't good and then your friends come up and like, dude, that was amazing. And it's like, no, it was terrible. And it's like, nobody realizes the how hard you are on yourself as a musician. So really, it's, if that's anything, that's just a hint to kind of take it easy.
Have you set a date yet?
We're working on it.
Oh, that's a question that you have an answer that you're not going to tell.
No, we have an idea on it, but I think we've yet to like fully cement it.
Big wedding, small. I'll ask generic questions. Big wedding, small wedding?
Small for sure. Family thing. Like we're just not, you know, the last thing I want to do is a Kardashian big ass, you know, huge wedding thing. You know, I don't want that at all. I just want a family. I just want the people I love there to celebrate being with the person I love.
You're gonna write your own vows?
Yeah.
Think you'll cry?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're a big crier, right?
I'm a sensitive boy. Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, bro. It is all good. Now, big question. Do you have a best man?
I have two of my best friends growing up.
Very cool. And they know already.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And they're in charge of your bachelor party.
Yeah, but I'm not that sort of guy. You know, I think I just want to hang out with them and like play video games and stuff. I'm not that sort of like strip club dude. That's just not my vibe.
Yeah, those days have kind of come and gone, haven't they?
I'm just not into it.
Yeah. That's what you wanted to do before, you know, you said, you know what, I could probably be a musician, right? You actually wanted to make video games.
Yeah, no, I just love, yeah. And then I realized how difficult it was. And I was like, well, you know what, I might as well stick with, you know, being good at what I can do now.
But you're one of those guys that if I were to bring up The Last of Us, you'd say, oh, I haven't watched it, but I played the video game.
Oh no, I've been watching. Haven't finished watching it, but I have beaten that game like 10 times.
Well, look, it has been an absolute honor and a pleasure to talk to you again, Wolfgang.
Thank you so much.
Sure everybody knows the hard work that Wolfgang puts in to his albums with the second release of Mammoth 2, release date of August 4th, and the first single, which you're probably already listening to, Another Celebration at the End of the World. It's blood, sweat, and tears, brother. Blood, sweat, and tears. And from the fan standpoint, we appreciate every second that you put into your music. And
thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
No, always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, thanks, Wolfgang. I got the wrap up sign, brother. Good talking to you. Anytime you need me here in Sacramento, you let me know. Okay,
dude. Absolutely, man. Whenever we're up there, you got to come to a show. It'll be a blast.
Oh, absolutely. That's without question. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, man.
All right, dude. Best of luck, man. Talk to you soon.
Sure, man. Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, man.
What you need it? That good?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll take all these video.
I'm sorry. I had 12:50 to get out, so I apologize for.
No, you're all good. You're all good.
Okay. Do you want this audio backup that I have here too, Carlos, or no? Like I rolled just tape into Adobe. That's the board fee that's been processed.
You can send it. The problem is with Zoom, because it's recording on the cloud, it's like a variable bit rate, so it'll probably drift from what you have versus what I have.
Okay.
So
yeah, anything you need from me, let me know, and I'm always in contact. So
cool, man. Thank you.
Thanks for your help today, Carlos.
Thanks,
right,
Carlos.
Of course.
Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Take care. You too. Bye.
Yeah.